Good morning, Carlos. This is a personal message to you. It also gives, actually, this is an attempt for me to learn some of the features of my new Panasonic camera. In the meantime, I may as well make a productive video out of it by, like in this case, making a video message to you to maybe assist or to confuse you even further on your search for a new point and shoot camera. Anyway, here's my little spiel on that. Take it for what it's worth. Anyway, as you know, I have a lot of regards for Sony because of one particular strength that they have. That's the image stabilizer. That is the reason why this Sony DSC HX9V for the past few years has now become my go-to camera when it comes to run and gun shooting, because its stabilizer is so phenomenally good that I could be literally running with this thing handheld like this and filming my daughter, for example, my 3-year-old daughter, and it'll look like it's like gliding on a dolly or you know what I'm talking about. It's very, very smooth, not jittery when you do stuff like this, like it would be the case with other cameras. And as I've mentioned, as to why this isn't my complete go-to camera is because, oh, I got a friend here. Oh, ow, 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 ow. It's a male, so anyway, it doesn't like being held. Anyway, the reason why I use this, don't use this all the time, is because it's got one Achilles heel, as I've mentioned before. That is that the audio sucks. And if it weren't for that, I've mentioned that to Sony numerous times, to their product feedback department. Reason why I've told him, you've got strengths in every other area. You've got a very good video, a phenomenal stabilizer. Why can't you just address the audio and make a very good overall camera? But I suspect that, I figure that they're not going to put a lot of time and effort into that, because most people probably just will watch their footage on a mobile device like a cell phone or a tablet, whatever, not in a full-blown home theater system with decent audio. Anyway, there is one other thing, is that it doesn't have like what I would prefer, a flexible LCD screen. That's fine. After a while, practicing with the mirror, with the monopod in front of you like this, you kind of get a feel for where the camera should be in order to center yourself, whatever. Plus, the 24 millimeter wide angle on this camera, coupled with its phenomenal stabilizer, allows a lot of give when you move and walk with the camera itself, because it stays pretty solid because of that. Anyway, that's my Sony camera. So what does it mean when I need audio to be my priority? Well, before I get into the Samsung, I also own a Zoom audio recorder with the built-in camera. So why don't I use this all the time? Well, as you found out in your Zoom camera, the video sucks. The audio is great. You can't beat the audio. Uncompressed audio, linear PCM. You can't beat that. It's just that not to mention that this camera doesn't have that wide of an angle. In fact, your camera has an even lesser of an angle, maybe the equivalent of a 40 millimeter. This one has like maybe a 35 millimeter, slightly wider, but nowhere near the ideal 24 millimeter that the Sony has, or let me get to this, my Samsung EX2F has. This also is a 24 millimeter a wide angle lens maximum. I use that for just about everything. I very seldom use telephoto at all, unless I really do need to get up close to a subject, but I will do that before I start filming, because once you start filming, you do not want to touch your focal length on the lens. It's going to make your video look really bad. As I mentioned, it'll spell amateur in capital letters. The pros never do that. They move the camera. Anyway, the other thing, like I said, this actually rivals that of the Zoom Q3 HD camera that I own. It's not uncompressed audio that one has, but the overall sound quality is just outstanding. In fact, if I know I'm not going to be doing a lot of moving around, this becomes my go-to camera. The video isn't quite as crisp as that of the Sony, but it's serviceable enough to where it can be good enough. Anyway, if audio becomes my quality. Other thing I do want to mention, this has a flexible LCD display. You may not be looking for this on a cheaper line camera, but believe it or not, this comes in handy. This way, that eliminates basically the guessing game of if monopod again, trying to figure out where the ideal position is, especially when you're not used to the camera yet. So it's a good little additional feature, among other things. And by the way, I do want to mention too, because audio is such a let's see, important area, which is often neglected by camera manufacturers. I do also own an Olympus. Let's see, LS20M audio recorder, also with a very interestingly placed built-in camera. It isn't a great camera, just like any audio recorder isn't. But this one gives me a little bit more control over the audio settings than my Zoom camera. Sound is not quite as rich as the Zoom, but I got more manual controls. It's whatever my priority is once again. So anyway, I hope that helps or confuses you even more in your search for your new point-and-shoot camera.